I've been planning my wedding for ages, but my mother-in-law is trying to hijack it.
Hijack this! Pow!
I, 29 female, and my fiance, 29 male, are getting married next year. He and I have known each other since pre-K.
Dang.
Dated in high school senior year, broke up before college.
Classic.
Then got back together 5 years ago. We are super close to both of our families, and this wedding will be around 200 people with about 80% family and 20% friend. By the way, this comes from user RoseCobbler13, and if you want to submit your own stories, submit them to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, his dad and my mom are the baby boomer generation, so we have a ton of relatives, it shows. We live very close to both of our parents. His are 20 minutes away, and mine are 10 minutes away, so we see them fairly often. I've always felt intimidated by his mom because she has that my way or the highway attitude towards most things. This is very important. I've never really had an issue with her, but I have always felt like she resents me for breaking up with her son after we graduated high school. For context, he was going to school across the country and I was going to school locally, and I did not want to do long distance. We were also 17 at the time and we were still very immature.
Yeah, that's just how it goes when you have relationships in high school.
This happens a lot.
Yeah.
This happens more than you think. This is a very, typical thing. When we got back together, everyone was pretty surprised, especially his family. Their first family party, everyone was pretty much asking about how it happened, and we were pretty vocal that this was it for us, and we were pretty much set on getting married, eventually. At the time, I was furloughed due to the vid and the halt of live events. My fiance and I both work in this industry, so we weren't itching to get married right away. We really started talking seriously about when my fiance was hospitalized last year, and he didn't really want to wait anymore. This was also about the time I started being more forward with his mom. He had a stroke.
Oh my God!
Ooh, and she was making comments about my weight to him. Shout out to the real MVP because he told her to mind her own dang business since I get enough body shaming from my mom.
Never the time, but especially not the time when he's just had a stroke. Why are you commenting on his fiance's body?
Fast forward to when he got engaged. He proposed to me on Christmas Day in front of his parents and sister in our house. He originally was going to propose before that, but I had gotten sick and ruined his plans.
He's like, it's all your fault. I had to propose on Christmas.
Now, everyone knows that I've been planning this wedding forever. We had many conversations before he proposed on what we wanted and who we wanted in our bridal party. I have known colors and dates and decor, and so I was ready to get started right away. I set up a preliminary venue tour and invited both our parents to come with us. This was just to get a feeler about budget and the process, but the venue was not what we wanted. However, this was literally the first day we were getting into planning. All the stuff I had before was just a vision board. That's cute. You had a vision board for your wedding?
Gotta have that Pinterest.
When we got home, his mom had texted us and asked us about our wedding party. We said we weren't really asking anyone until we locked down a date and venue, but that most of our bridal party pretty much knew who they were. My bridal party, my sister, my best friend, and 4 other closest friends. His bridal party, his best friend, his cousin, his college roommate, and 3 closest friends. My nieces are also flower girls, and my nephew is our ring bearer. When we told his mother who was in our party, she kind of flipped out because I was not including his sister, 26 female, as one of them. For us, this was on purpose. His sister and my brother were going to have special parts in our wedding, and we thought this was pretty fair because doing a reading to highlight them was better than not having them included at all. I was also going to include her in most of the bridesmaid fun, like bachelorette and getting ready. As the baby in my family, I always wanted a little sister, and so I have treated her like family always. She's also the type of person who does not take offense to anything and would be happy to be a part of the wedding in any way.
Oh, so she's not, because I would thought she was going to be like, she was the one who was upset and complaining to the mother, but it seems like the only person who has a problem with this is the mom. Like, the sister doesn't even care.
Mom's doing the emotions for herself.
She's like, I know that your sister's upset. And the sister's like, no, I'm good. And she's like, I know deep down that she's upset by this.
But his mom wanted to hear none of that. She said I was going to hurt some feelings, and I said we were having them do their own separate speeches. which was a much bigger role, in my opinion, than being a bridesmaid. This is where the drama happens.
Uh-oh. Not good.
She texts my fiance on the side that she will keep her mouth shut on most stuff with the wedding. But this is something she would not keep her yap shut on. I know full well that it is our wedding and that it is my bridal party, and that if my fiance told me he would be hurt to not see his sister up there next to me, then I would totally ask her to be up there with me. But he and I already decided on our bridal party years in advance. He responded back to her, telling her that he was not having my brother in his party, that them doing speeches was a very special part of our wedding, and that we had put a lot of thought into it. When my brother got married, I was not a bridesmaid, and they had me do my own speech. I was also not including my sister-in-law, brother's wife, as a bridesmaid because she and my brother-in-law have already agreed to help out with their kids on the day of the wedding.
I would understand why people would expect a sibling to be a part of their own sibling's bridal or wedding party.
Right.
But to expect the opposite partner to include them when they might not have that close relationship. Doesn't
That
really make
spot's
sense.
reserved for my sibling
Yeah, it's
to
like,
be your
no,
bridesmaid.
That doesn't make any sense. It should be all of their closest, friends and family members up there.
We were already making plans to talk to his sister the next day and get her take on it well before we wanted to ask anyone. But also because we thought we owed it to the person whose feelings matter the most in this conundrum. We already knew her response was going to be whatever makes us happy because, guess what? It's our wedding. But we never got to the next day to ask her. His mother texted him that night that she will pull any monetary contribution if we did not make his sister a bridesmaid.
What is she doing? Why?
You have
oh
forced
my
my
goodness.
hands,
That's
son.
the thing. She definitely seems like the person who was like, oh, I would love to help contribute to the wedding. I would love to help. And then uses that as a way to control.
This made me mad. Not because of adding her, but because she backed my fiancé into a corner and gave him an ultimatum. At this point, we had not put any money into the wedding, and when I told my mom, she said, fine then, we will just contribute whatever they don't. Which, respect, because my parents are not well off, but they love my fiancé. My fiancé never wanted a large bridal party, and I had to really push for 6 because these were my closest friends, so going to 7 was never an option. I reluctantly agreed, but now everything feels really off. She made us keep this from his sister, and even though we are back down to 6 and 6 for our bridal parties, other drama with one of my friends, I still feel like it took the special out of it. The petty in me told my fiancé that this means she will not have a speech during our wedding, and that it was his mother's only freebie say. He was okay with that since it would be no longer fair to have her do multiple things and would be awkward for her to step out of the bridal party line just to speak. He gave me 48 hours to get all my feelings out before we stopped talking about the topic, which I have been good about not saying anything, but it's been 4 months and I'm still not over this. We still haven't officially asked anyone in our parties yet, partially because of this, but all my bridesmaids know about what happened and have my side. They're your bridesmaids, as they should. And by the way, you can have our side by listening to full episodes with stories just like this, by going to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and searching OK Storytime. There's a little bit more to the story, but Sophia, where are we at?
Well, it seems like you're kind of trying to, I don't know, you said, oh, to be petty, I don't want her to have speech. But why are we being petty towards the sister? She hasn't done anything.
She also doesn't know about
She
this
also
conundrum.
doesn't know. It's like, don't be petty towards the sister. She's not involved. Yeah, I think you're trying to get back at the mother-in-law, but she's already won.
Yeah.
So there's not really a way to get back at her without trying to take it out on other people.
Or make
around
things
you.
even more stressful for you
Yeah.
and your fiance, which I doubt you want.
Yeah.
Where the heck was the conversation with the sister and the mom? Like with the brother, sister, and mom?
Well, it seems like the mother-in-law was like, you can't tell her, or I'm taking away the money.
A part of me still wants to talk to his sister and ask her what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a person too.
I think you should.
Yeah. The problem is, his parents have already given us money for a vendor deposit, and so now I feel like we can't really change anything, even if we haven't asked anyone officially yet. A part of me thinks she'll find out eventually, and so I want to talk to her about it. I also am worried that his mom has already told her that she is going to be a bridesmaid and will ruin the proposal plans I have made. Any advice on if I should just get over it and leave it alone, or should I talk to her? And there's an edit. Edit. I feel like I should clarify. My mother-in-law is not evil. She was a teacher for 40 years, and so she comes off like a retired teacher who has dealt with a lot of crap for years. She doesn't walk all over me, nor do I let her. I've stood up for myself on several occasions. My problem isn't with her, but the situation she put me in with my sister-in-law, or future sister-in-law in this case.
Well, and then, yeah, your problem is kind of with her, which is fair. She's making problems, but Opie's like, my problem is not with her. It's how she's, it's her behavior. It's like, no, the problem's with her.
The problem's with her.
And I think you have to talk to your partner and say, like, hey, maybe not for this wedding, but going forward, we have to realize any monetary help that she's going to give us is coming with the strings.
Because guess what? If this is the basis for you going into your wedding,
yeah,
what's say in the future?
Yeah.
With any monetary things, she's gonna give you an ultimatum for everything. You're gonna let her do
everything.
You gotta. I know you said I've put my fences up with her. I've stood up for myself. This is your wedding.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest days of your life. This is something that you should stand up for, and maybe you just talk. Not even like, attack, but just, hey, sister, mother-in-law, fiance, this is what's going on. This is how I feel.
Yeah, sister,
see where we're at.
Want to be in the wedding? Like,
Yeah.
did you even want to be one of my bridesmaids?